Hello everyone and welcome to another Go Go Muffin video. Before we dive in here, make sure you hit that subscribe button and notification bell and drop a like on the video too if you're enjoying the content. Don't forget to join our Discord server as well if you're not already there. The link is in the description down below. We've also activated our channel membership which comes with all kinds of perks, so check that out if you're interested in joining. And speaking of channel membership, I do want to take a moment to give a special shout out to our current members. So thanks to all of you, and I hope you're enjoying the benefits. And finally, a reminder that all comments on every video will be automatically entered into our weekly giveaways. Winners will be randomly selected every Monday. So good luck, and let's get this started. So let's take a look at artifacts. If you have any burning artifact questions, now is your time to ask. And let's go over the artifact system. Riddle me this, why is my RNG so bad with artifacts? It is pretty hard RNG, to be honest with you, yeah. Is there any way to hoard energy? Unfortunately, no. And not exactly. So there is sort of a way, but I'll explain that. So you see these bubbles on the map. The maximum you can have stocked up is 3 bubbles, which is 300 energy. Because of that, it's not really feasible for you to save lots and lots of energy. And if you're over capped here, it stops generating bubbles. But you can in fact stock up these recharge crystals. So you can get these from your daily quests, from weekly quests. There's some available in the friendship shop, and you can get them as well from certain events and other things like this. So this is the only way which you can quote-unquote stockpile energy, is using these recharge crystals. Otherwise, not really. So you want to see what are the new artifacts? Sure. So the most up-to-date artifact region is Burning Tower, and it has 16 legendaries, or rather here. Yeah, let's take a look, because it has, 16 legendaries, 12 epics, and 14 rares. And there are some pretty interesting ones if we start looking. I think, unfortunately, the best ones are the ones I haven't unlocked yet. This seems pretty good for everyone, to be honest. This seems very good. Look at this. Restores 1% of your max HP every 5 seconds. And this is unleveled. So imagine when you actually resonate this and start this up. This could be really good for everyone's overall survivability. A heal every 5 seconds will make healers' life quite a bit easier. So that is a pretty cool artifact. Yeah, tanks will be like, I don't need a healer. And then this one is also interesting. Increases all damage and healing by a percentage after 60 seconds have passed in battle, which is another pretty good one. Because again, this is only 1% at level 0. So once this levels up, that'll be even more. Then this is simply mastery. But we're getting more and more. The rest I think are pretty much normal, yeah. But we are getting more and more of these conditional type artifacts as opposed to just stats from the new regions, which is pretty cool. Is it better to use the 300 per day and hoard the... Yes, exactly correct, Zakila. You can't hoard energy, so you have to use your 300 energy per day and stockpile these recharge crystals, which again I can show you get here from dailies, certain dailies here. You get them in dailies and as well in weeklies. Should I upgrade all of them to 6, including the blue ones, before going to +9 on legendary? So there is actually a order of how to approach this. So the order with which you will approach resonating your artifacts is going to be: Step 1, everything to +4. Step 2, all of your economic effect to +6. Then the next step is everything to +6. And then after that, you'll take your economic effect to +9, and then you'll take everything else to +9. That's how you're going to approach it, because your economic effect stuff is going to give you very important progression-based gains. And this is why we always prioritize them before DPS. Now, I haven't done that myself exactly, but don't use me as a benchmark for that. Which bond stats are best to prioritize? Henry, it depends on your class pretty much, but generally speaking, you're going to want to prioritize, like for example, you can see here if you're a healer, these ones give increased healing effect, which are pretty good, but DPS should be prioritizing these ones here, the ones that give stat as a percentage, because these stats exceed your 50% numerical cap. So haste 2%, really good. Haste 2%, mastery 2%, mastery 2%. I don't have a lot of them unlocked because I went about things differently. But these haste 2%, mastery 2%, these are the ones that you should be prioritizing as a DPS, because those are not subject to diminishing returns. So they actually offer a lot of value for DPS. For the artifacts in the previous area, do we need to go back to the area for gacha if we missed it? No. You should always gacha in the most up-to-date region that you have and never go back for anything. Now, whether or not that might change in the future, I don't know, but for now, it does not make sense to go back to chase a few dupes of one missing artifact. Anya asks, if we missed a unique artifact from Paper Plane, is it possible to get it from somewhere? Actually, Anya, the answer to your question is in the current Paper Plane week on server 1. So we're in Paper Plane week 9, and if you take a look at the tier 5 rewards, you'll actually see the answer to your question right here. Legendary Artifact Chest. And when you click on it, it gives you all of the past artifacts that came in the previous Paper Plane artifact weeks. So you can actually choose one of the ones you missed. So you can see here, here's the Dragon's Bounty one, here's the Double Treasure Hunting Energy one, here's the Waves of Horror one, and here's the Rune Characters one. So if you did happen to miss a week, you will, as the weeks carry on, have access to these chests to get the ones you missed. So you're not permanently screwed if you missed one of the artifact weeks as a free-to-play player. You will have a chance in the future to get it back. Because I feel like some people probably will sit there and restart their account or go to a new server or get really upset if they missed a Paper Plane artifact because they think to themselves, oh, I'm never going to get it, I'm forever ruined. But no, you will have a chance to get it again in future Paper Plane weeks. And Reindeer, I just answered your question. No, you should not be returning to previous areas for missed artifacts. You should always use your energy on the most up-to-date region. Artifacts is as long a grind as cat buns. Yes, but artifacts are also not RNG. Well, let me elaborate. Artifacts are RNG when you spend your energy, but the actual progression with regards to resonance and the dupes, you're not going to have a chance to get a good or a bad artifact. It's RNG what you pull from the energy, how many resonance stones you get, but you make the decisions on what you want to invest in. You don't just like wake up and say, oh, gee, I rolled a really bad ignorant vision. Guess I gotta wait till I get a better one. It's up to you to determine how and where you want to invest your resources, which is very different from cat buns in the sense that if you get a great cat bun but really bad flavor, you're kind of in trouble. What about the damage percentage for bonds? Does the haste and mastery matter more? The reason why I would prioritize the mastery and haste more is because of the fact that it goes above the stat cap. So right now, for example, I'll show you exactly why I said that. So right now, if you look here on my mastery, I'm at 52%, but I'm capped. So the only way for me to get more mastery is going to be through percentage sources like the accessories or through these artifact bonds. So by having these percentages from the artifacts, you're actually able to respec and potentially get more of a different stat that you would benefit from as opposed to sticking to that 50% cap. Henry says, if haste and mastery matter more than damage and bonds, then I messed up big time. I'm in the same boat as you, so don't feel too bad. You will get there eventually. It's all good. It's just that the haste and mastery is probably the better choice to level up for now. What level does the new artifact area release? Is it already on the map? Let's see. I've not actually looked. Sorry, 1 second. Let's take a look. 49.2. So it's at 49.2 Nightless City. I'm not actually sure what level 49.2 will be, but I would guess that could be like pretty far. Certainly I think level 100 plus, if not much more than that. I'm not exactly sure the level, to be honest, but it's a long way away. That, yeah, exactly, Robert. So Robert says that takes even more effect on the current trials that reduce damage and healing over time. You're correct, yes. What's the best ways to get resonance stones? To be honest, energy is the only option, and then of course you're going to have these selection boxes, for example, from weeklies and certain events you're going to get resonance stones, but the resources for artifacts are mostly going to come from spending energy. Probably around Class Change 3, maybe, but it might be before that, because Class Change 2 goes on for quite a while. Like, we have until, let's just double check. Yeah, so Class Change 2 goes until level 140. So I think we'll probably get to 49 before level 140. So I don't think the new artifact zone will come in Class Change 3, maybe a little bit before. Oh, thank you for the reminder. Yeah, for those who, yeah, I misspoke. The daily dragon bounty is also a good source of resonance stones. Thanks for the reminder, Reed. Yeah. I always overlook that because it's so default for me to do the dragon now that I almost don't look at the rewards anymore. But yes, you do also get a good amount of resonance stones from your daily dragon bounty. So do not skip your dailies. The key to everything in this game is don't skip your dailies. Is requesting an artifact chest in your guild to get missing artifact fragments good? No. No, Nico, no. I would not suggest you do that over requesting Demon Hound fragments. No, definitely not. The Demon Hound fragments long term will benefit you a lot more than chasing the artifact fragments from your guild wish system. So I would not waste your wishes on that. Save your wishes for Demon Hounds, and in very rare cases, some big whales might use their wish for mount fragments, but generally speaking, it's going to be Demon Hound copies. Paper Plane 14 is going to be the new artifact map. Okay, sounds good. Thanks, Chris. What increases attack more, artifact or mount? That's a good question. I'm actually not sure. Well, let's see. Well, you can see here I get more combat power from artifacts and mounts. I'm just not sure what the exact breakdown of attack versus other stats is. I would say probably the artifact gives more attack. If you had to choose, should I get dupes of wind catching bag or the artifact that increases waves of horror attack which you don't have? Henry, it depends on what type of player you are. If you're a player who's constantly pushing leaderboards and trying to set new records, then you should get, as long as you have the additional artifacts. If you've already gotten the Firefly path and you have enough to get the chest as well, if you already have the other three, then yeah, I would get the Waves of Horror. But if you're a free-to-play player, you would almost never take the Dragon's Bounty and Waves of Horror artifacts. You would focus on the resource artifacts. But if you're a spender, then you could justifiably get that for additional damage and Waves of Horror. Otherwise, it's not worth it. What artifacts to plus 10? That's very long-term stuff, Primo. But again, once you get everything to plus 9, then you'd start chasing your economic effects to plus 10 as well. When is the best time to use resonant stones, in your opinion? I'm not sure exactly what you mean, Reindeer. Can you elaborate on that? Where do we get stones for the plus 10 artifacts? You've only seen it in events. You can get it by fusing. Like if you go here, you can combine the previous tier to get them. They're just very costly. 10 of these legendary resonant stones to get one of the maximum tier 1 here. So this is why I'm saying it's pretty endgame, because you're gonna have to convert almost all of your resources to get these. For the new artifacts in the Tasha, Zone of Infinite Sin, Song of the Ship, and Frank's Case, which artifact should I start as a healer? Let's take a look at those quickly. So it's the Frank's Case, Song of the Ship, and Stone of Infinite Sin. Right. So Stone of Infinite Sin right now is increasing your core skill damage and core skill healing effect. Frank's Case is your passive skill damage and passive skill healing effect. And Song of the Ship is your tactical skill damage and tactical skill healing effect. So let me ask you a question before I answer. Between your passive skills, your tactical skills, and your core skills, which one of those three contributes most to your overall healing output? I want you to answer the question yourself to see if you figure it out, because I think personally the Song of the Ship is the way to go here. For DPS, it's, yeah, exactly right. Yeah, that's correct, Caleb. Yeah, so it's Song of the Ship for healers because of the tactical skill healing effect. That is going to be the bulk of your healing. Now, arguably, you would probably prioritize after Song of the Ship your Frank's Case, because I do believe you have some passive healing as well. Henry says, I picked tactical for DPS. It very much depends on your class. So for me as a Nightweaver, Stone of Infinite Sin is by far the best, because it's all about core damage. But yeah, so for a healer, prioritize Song of the Ship, and if you happen to get extra, Frank's Case could be the next one to get after that. Artifact has damage percent for mobs and bosses and gets more edged and mounts. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, we always kind of overlook. We overlook this additional benefit of artifacts, but we're focusing on the individual artifacts themselves. But when you click on the artifact bonus, I mean, look at this, for goodness sakes. 52% damage against common monsters, 52.1% against elite or above monsters. That's insane. It's an extra 50% damage from artifacts on top of everything it already gives. So artifacts are a huge contributor to overall damage output and performance as a healer and tanking, etc. But for DPS especially, this is huge. And yes, Reed says it's not really worth to start plus 10ing at the moment because it's low value increase relative to the resources. Well, that's the thing, Reed. That's why I called it endgame, because you would not start plus 10ing until you have everything else to plus 9. No problem, Caleb. So yeah, the Song of the Ship is the best, again, for healers. Aren't those the Tasha's artifacts? Yes, they are, Okami. And yes, they are limited to people who spent on the event, unfortunately. So any last minute artifact questions here before we transition off to another topic? You already have a +10 wind catching bag. That's pretty next level. Does the artifact bonus come from artifact collection? Carter, the artifact bonus is this basic stats here. You can see every single artifact gives damage to monster and damage to boss. You can see here as you go through, they give different amounts. And that all adds up to give you this percentage here. You have +10 your desert compass. That's all good choices, honestly. More gold is a good thing. But yeah, you would prioritize your economic effect artifacts because they're just so good. So I think that's a pretty good run through the artifact system. What did I personally get for the extra artifact selection box? I picked... Let me double check what I picked. I think I picked the wind catching bag. Yeah, I picked wind catching bag for more doubled energy chances, because to me the doubled energy chances is pretty big. If you can get more artifact energy, that's really good. So I got more wind catching bag. You've done sequel to Edda, the bloody crystals hate you. Honestly, that's a pretty good call. Sequel to Edda is one of the most important artifacts. Yeah, when obtaining crystals there is a chance to obtain another one. This is massive, and I'm almost tempted to just +10 this now just because I'm getting such bad RNG right now. On another note, 3 million combat powers coming soon. Yeah, we're working on it. We are working on it.